Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
I think if we don't stand up and take ownership of our country and take responsible for it, we are slowly letting others control how we think and what we think. I think the beauty of going to school is that you learn how to think for yourselves. You develop the discipline to think things through. If you think it's losing confidence, then you get up and you participate. You don't sit on the sidelines. You think that the state is being run and inconsistent with how you feel, then you get up and you participate. You prepare yourself. If you think that the medical profession is not right, well, you become a doctor or be a medical person, and you deal with that. I think we need to take ownership of our country. It's our country.
It is our country. Good morning. It is Thursday, April 16th. And we are going to be joined by an amazing guest today. And probably one of my favorites, actually. But before I have Brigadier General Blaine Holt come in, and he's been on before, let's just walk through it real quick. I've been in this fight for 6 years, and I should have been in the fight for longer than that. I guess I was, if you think about how I raised my kids, getting involved in their school, getting involved in the things that were necessary in order to make sure that they got through the educational experience without being flawed by these not thinking for yourself. And we see everything that's wrong, and I put something up and I'll be like, look, we have judges and lawyers. By the way, I can't even tell you how many emails I got based on the posts that I put out there about judges that were previous judges, judges at a high level that used to be previous judges, judges that are sitting now still on the bench that are willing to spill the beans. Now you have ex-DAs, you have people that want to tell their story, you have lawyers, you have lots of people that are coming forward saying the system is designed to destroy our community. And it starts in the judiciary, which gives these people the ability to do really bad things. And on top of all this, I had to have a conversation with some people at the Anti-Defamation League and the Jewish Coalition because I'm not going to put it out there right now. I told them I'd give them an opportunity to have a sit down, but there are people that are doing things that I find reprehensible, that are making up stories, and that's why it's so dangerous when you have people like Kyle Clark that lie so easily, is because it creates a story behind the scenes that is really problematic. So I'll let you know whether or not I'm going to go public with that. They have an opportunity to correct the record. I hope they do. I hope that we can meet somewhere in the middle and have a conversation. I'm not very hopeful, but I will tell you that dangerous organizations deserve to be exposed and litigated against. And so that might be something that has to happen. For those that you want to use the isms against me, so, anti-Semitism, racism, gayism, whatever you want to say, you're against these people, then you don't know anything about me. So if you want to put that stuff out there, you better have something to back it up. Or we will toss down. We will throw down. I want to talk about what Nick Shirley has done, this person out of California that basically, again, if you want to take something and you want to right a wrong through the court system, you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to be heard by a judge that's likely to side with senior evil because it's so rotted to the core. This Democrat, Melissa Bonta, she's the person behind the Nick Shirley Act, wants to criminalize citizen journalism, is also working to make taxpayers pay for attorneys for illegals. So again, we're going to do this replacement theology, give them everything, and step and spit on American people. Go ahead and play it.
Does it surprise you guys that Mia Bonta, the very same lady who's attacking Nick Shirley and any journalist like him who will expose a fake immigration services center, is now also moving to protect illegal immigrants by giving them free attorneys on the public dime? if they are subject to removal or deportation, or if they've been detained by one of the federal agencies? Well, it really shouldn't. And when she was asked about this in a key committee, by Kate Sanchez, by the way, she said that this could apply to violent felons because there's nothing specifically in the bill that even addresses that issue. So let's think about it for a moment. They're talking about using publicly paid for attorneys, right? So this is your money, this is my money, to defend the fraudsters from deportation. And then they're also passing bills to make it so that we can't even go after the fraudsters on video or online because they want to censor the internet. So the state wants to assume control over what we publish, and they also want to appoint an administrator and also an attorney panel and hire nonprofits to make sure that these fraudsters get as much legal counsel as possible to prevent them from being deported out of this country. So if they come to California...
It's just a war on America, and that's why what Clarence Thomas is saying is so important. Here's some clips from the Democrat gubernatorial debate in Georgia. This is Mike Thurmond. We don't want to protect Americans. We want to protect foreigners. I don't want to protect foreigners at all. Foreigners they can go back to their country. You either assimilate and you adopt the ethos of our nation, or you get out of our country. A melting pot does not mean you melt out and you create your own subsects where you take over parts of our country and steal entitlements. Go ahead and play it.
Do you support local law enforcement agencies in Georgia collaborating with federal immigration enforcement efforts?
ICE must be reformed, and if not reformed, then abolished.
He can't even speak right. But anyway, we'll just get to that in a minute. You have Keisha Lance Bottoms, who has... This is... Just play it. I don't even know what to say about Miss Keisha Bottoms.
Just to be clear, if that bill did cross your desk as governor, would you have signed it or vetoed it?
I don't support the government making decisions about who should compete in athletics. I believe that decision should be left to respective athletic associations.
So you would have vetoed it?
Yes.
You would have vetoed the Riley Gaines Act, which would eliminate men in women's sports. That's what she's saying. So the Democrats are just retards. I mean, let's just call it what it is. If you're a Democrat, man, listen, you're not my problem. It's the retards they put up there that don't have to sit. Okay, just play the next one. This is a congressman was asked, America first or Israel first?
Sir, can we ask you America first or Israel first?
Israel first.
Israel first?
Yes.
Before America?
No, of course not.
You fat penguin? That's what you have to say?
You're going to get in a lot of trouble.
You're a fat, disgusting penguin, sir.
No, you're a loser.
You're a fat, disgusting penguin.
Loser. You're the biggest loser that ever
penguin.
existed. All you guys are losers.
You're a fat,
You're
disgusting
losers
penguin.
that hate America and hate Jews.
You're a fat, disgusting penguin, sir.
Hate America.
You're a
How do you
fat,
feel about Palestine again? Can you let us know?
I am Syrian. I'm not.
Nobody gives a shit, right?
You said nobody gives a shit, right?
What? Pal, I'm leaving. You don't have the right to harass people in these halls.
We're just asking you a question, sir. You cursed at us, bro.
I did not curse.
You said nobody gives a shit. We didn't curse at you. We treated you respectfully, fat boy.
I didn't curse.
You said nobody gives a shit. You didn't say that. We have it on camera. Are you going to lie now?
No, you didn't.
You're a lying sack of crap, sir.
You're a loser.
You're a fat penguin-looking PDF, sir. You're a PDF, brother. PDF.
I don't agree with, there is no Israel first or America first. It should be America first. We should have our priorities set on who we are as a country and who we are as people, period. Now, they called him a penguin. He's only a half penguin. Really, he's not a full penguin. I mean, you just can't, they misappropriated part of that. But I'm being funny. But the other side is that we've lost civility. Why can't we have conversations? If I told you, I'm actually sending a text message right now to one of the congressmen, as I'm sitting here talking to you, and to the congressman who knows about this underpinning of trying to censor and deplatform me across the country. And I found out about it by accident. Thank you to somebody that sent me the information that came in from these groups. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. We're going to talk about where we are. Why do we have such poor representation? And why is it we're afraid to speak the truth? It's not about being an ally to Israel or any other country, by the way, not just Israel. It's a matter of making sure that we have our priorities straight and that the people in our country are given the opportunity to thrive, that we're not creating deserts, education deserts, food deserts, and or opportunity deserts. And it's very easy to see that we've created those deserts pretty much everywhere. And we put ourselves at risk in a lot of different ways. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and just bring Brigadier General, he's retired, Blaine Holt on. And let me just tell you a little bit about him if this is your first time on the show. He's a highly decorated U.S. Air Force veteran. He likes air conditioning, just so we're clear. Just want to make sure you guys know that, because Air Force. Although he's not a guy I'd probably mess with. He's a former NATO senior leader and current president of de facto of X Research Group, and where he drives innovation in defense and commercial technologies, including AI, drones, advanced materials, and propulsion. It's too much to talk about all the things that he's done, but like he's excelling in the military, he's also excelled in the private sector, and he's a serial entrepreneur. And he's done some pretty amazing things. He's also the host of Dangerous Intellectuals, which is a podcast. With that said, General, welcome to the show.
Oh, Joe, it's good to return. Thanks so much for having me, and I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just talking about the fact that our country is basically a circus.
By design, a lot of people make this big mistake that we just have a bunch of idiots running the circus, and nothing could be further from the truth. This is all actually by design. This is something that's been underway for decades. And, Ben Franklin said it best, it's a republic if you can keep it. But after 1913, when the fraudulent 16th and 17th Amendment came in, 16th being your income tax, 17th being your loss of ability to have the senators pick the right way, some other things came along, and one of them was the central bank. And that sent us on a place that got to no self-governance, no stake in your government, complete removal from the people who call themselves your representatives, and now they don't even fear the ballot box because the elections have been cooked. But all this gets back to one central command authority called the globalists, and we see this all over the world. And I'm finally just so happy and optimistic to say, oh my gosh, the camouflage is coming off who the real enemy is. And that Washington, D.C., or even your state and local governments, the lawfare, all that, it's all just compromise and payoffs and extortion and blackmail, but it comes from the financialists and the globalists who seek to control us.
You know, what's really interesting about, there's a lot of things that are interesting about what you're saying right now, but I want to look at it specifically just on its merits based on what's in front of us, right? If we look at the elections and we look at who's in charge and we look at the globalists and the financial provocateurs and I'll just call it Lloyds of London, financial institutions outside of the country that have long used countries like Iran, like even Ukraine or the Balkan countries as well, as devil's playgrounds, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. These are the Praetorians, the modern day Praetorians. They hail back to the fall of Rome. They then reincarnate as the Venetians. The Venetians then decide it's much more clever to financially upend and destroy and steal things. So then they take over the Dutch kingdom. The Dutch kingdom takes over the British kingdom. This evolves into a thing called the City of London. You would understand the names behind these things, the richest families in the world, from Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Lamberts, Orsini's. They go on and on. But the one cordant theme throughout all of it, going back to, even when the World Economic Forum was a glint in Kissinger's and Klaus Schwab's eye, is they seek to dominate, control, depopulate, and enslave whatever's left afterwards. And if we had this chat, Joe, maybe 10 years ago, you would issue me some Reynolds wrap and say, make yourself a hat. And today, what I think and where I'm encouraged is we are on to them now, and the awakening is happening. It's happening in droves. We understand in DC there is no aisle. We are being persecuted by a judiciary that is not beholden to us, and every single thing that our founders warned us about is present. And what I would also argue is that we have not closed the books yet on the American Revolutionary War with the British Empire, but we are about to do so.
Yeah, so that's interesting. We've talked about some of the things that are going to be coming down the pike over the last couple of weeks. I know we're about 4 months behind. There is a plan. I was given this, Joe, everything's fine, everything's going to be fine. I'm like, the elections are stolen, they're not fine. Get rid of machines, get rid of mail-in ballots. We've proven. We've done all the hard work over the last 6 years. We've put all the pieces in play. Get rid of the lawsuits. Make sure, I don't care what you have to do. We should get to the bottom of this, rip off the Band-Aid and stop acting like this fear of loss, this weak, pathetic political game that we're playing is the one that we're going to just allow to continue to fester out. At some point, we're going to have to get to the place where we take care of this, right? Where we just get out and do it. So I know there's a plan. Why is it taking so long?
Well, this is the thing. The president has been navigating this minefield of lawfare, assassination attempts, bankruptcies, kangaroo courts, judiciaries that are completely corrupt, no one caring for the Constitution. So as you meander around that, the one thing you have to make sure that you do is you got to make sure that the people can see full up what's going on in front of their faces. And here's the thing that Americans like. Americans like a binary situation. It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. We're going to win or we're going to lose. But I want to know now. I don't want to know that it's trust the plan. 5 years from now, maybe we'll have bread together. It's not that. We're in the ninth inning. That time is here. The end is right around mid-July when we're getting too close to the midterms that we all have to just kind of buckle in. And so there's something missing that we haven't seen yet. And we yearned for it the second that President Trump got the White House back under his control. And that is the accountability piece. What we have done is we've been looking mollified on as members of the administration haven't done what they said they were going to do. They haven't responded to events and evidence the way we wanted them to. And I think there's a very good reason for that. I mean, even in our law system, the way it is, just taking one of these thousands of criminals through the process could take years and years and years with the right amount of legal resource. So what we are either going to see is a roundup with a whole lot of folks going down at the pretty much the same time or in and around the same time. That could look like an incapacitation of the government, and that could look like a military tribunal situation. That's the road to health, actually. The bad place is we don't get to any of those things. We get to mid-July, and then we're on our path to the bad place, which is President Trump loses midterms. He gets impeached 6 months later, and every single American has broken faith or lost faith in the concept of this republic. I think I see very, very ample evidence right now to understand that it's going in a good line. And I would take you overseas to Exhibit A, which is the Iran conflict that we fight, which is not a war. It's a battlefield in a much bigger war. And how he's waging that war tells me much.
What can people hold on to? You know, there's Shawshank Redemption that hope is a dangerous thing, right?
It is, and that's why above hope, you need a relationship with your creator first and foremost. The second thing that you're going to need, no matter what, is a relationship with your family and your neighbors and your community, because the optimistic path that I've described doesn't mean that the enemy doesn't get a vote, and it doesn't mean that things won't be rough in America in the next 90 to 120 days. In fact, I think they will be. But what you should take hope in is, as you start to see alarming things, and we already have, refineries burning down, California wanting to roll up the Constitution and attack those that might call out fraud, California wanting to dial its few remaining refineries from 7 down to 1, the breadbasket of the United States not getting enough fertilizer because it's too expensive, half of Nebraska, or at least a quarter of Nebraska, on fire, and it was all farmland. These are the things that tell you the enemy is not done. They're fighting back. Look no further than the private credit crisis that we get to see little snippets about in the news every now and then. But that's a monster. It's between 22 trillion and 42 trillion of a potential global financial crisis. These are the things that this very determined enemy that's really called the shots since the fall of the Roman Empire is going to be throwing at us. I just think that if we can buckle down and stay true to those priorities that I mentioned, we're going to come out of this thing okay. We're going to come out of this thing stronger as a country, and I don't see us getting complacent about giving up control to them anytime soon.
So what do you think that people can do? What do you think that the people can do to get involved in this to have an impact? 'Cause I think people are sitting on the sidelines. And in large part, at least one of the things that President Trump was extremely good at was he was like, meet me at the Ellipsis Center
Yeah.
on January 6th.
It's not going to happen now.
Right?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? He knew how to mobilize. When he shows up into a town, 200,000 people will stop what they're doing, put their pen down, and rush into this area. Now, I think that has its place in creating hope, but where hope ends, tactical value has to begin. Does that make sense? I mean, it has to be something that people have to do.
And part of the president's, especially the 2026 strategy, he has embarked on some awfully tough things that have absolutely rattled his political base to its frame. And he's going to have to show some wins here very soon. And I think we'll see those in the case of Iran. He'll be vindicated there. But more importantly, what he's doing is he's destroying the financial framework that the City of London has held on to. One of those being Lloyd's of London, which Besant talked about all yesterday, which has had a monopoly for 337 years called Winners and Losers, and has decided what goes and comes through the straits. The straits weren't closed because of Iran's military prowess. They were closed because of Lloyd's of London. And now the veil is falling off of this very determined foe in the UK, and then by extension NATO, that has been trying to be an impediment to him in the Mideast. Americans should take that as a hopeful sign. We're on the right track because enemy is doing desperate things and they don't care what it looks like anymore. The other part is, before you do one thing as an American, make yourself and your family resilient. Go grow some food. Go put some stuff away. Take care of your basic needs and your neighborhood. And then be active in your community. That's what you can do. And educate yourself on all the stuff that you won't be told on the mainstream media. And so these are the things that very good Americans can do, because as the rest of the people wake up, they don't need us to be in their faces and saying, you weren't there when America was falling. We just need to lend a helping hand and say, I get it. You've been duped. You've been asleep for a while. Let me help you out because we need you on the team. And that's the America that we know. And what did Winston Churchill say? He said, you can always trust the Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else.
Yeah, no question. No question.
That's where we are.
Hey, so can I switch gears for a minute and talk about stuff you put up on your X? I have to put this up there because you posted this yesterday. It's a man drone mapping one place in North Oaks, Minnesota. Are you poking the bear? I just want to know if you're poking the bear.
I am poking the bear because first and foremost, I am not a Democrat, not a Republican. I'm an American. And this nonsense about just because you have the technology means the Constitution doesn't apply anymore. Your Fourth Amendment's not important anymore. It couldn't be more important. And with the other technologies coming on over the horizon, it won't just be about drones. It'll be about nanobots in your smart TV. It'll be about, are they allowed to spray crap on the top of your head that essentially vaccinated you? How much more are we going to allow our civil liberties to be cast away by the side and try to negotiate those back from a state that doesn't own those liberties in the first place? So those come from the Creator, and most Americans don't even understand that. That's why you need a relationship with your Creator. But when whether it's cops or whether it's bad guys using drones against the will of an individual who has not committed any crime, is not suspected of any crime, then you are having your rights and your liberties usurped.
But what's crazy about this is that it doesn't matter what's legal anymore.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Does it? It doesn't.
No,
is it me,
because
or is
what
it-
they'll say is, just go ahead and sue us. Come on into court. Bring your 5 attorneys. And you're like, I'm a welder. I can't afford 1 attorney.
That's the entire system is designed.
It is. It is. And that's how we gave up our system. We gave up our system.
General, this is crazy because I had a sitting judge in Colorado that came to me and said, I need you to know that the entire judiciary is rotted and I'm disgusted. I go in there every day and I feel dirty.
Yeah.
And I go, do you want to go? She goes, she goes, so you don't know what it is? Goes, I just want to blow the whistle, but I don't want to do it to where you got to protect me.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I just want to blow the whistle a little. I want to tweet the whistle. I don't really want to blow it. Just want to put a little air through the whistle. That's what I want.
But General, listen to me. They can't. Look at what they've done to every whistleblower. There's never in the last 20 years been a whistleblower that hasn't been destroyed. Give me one.
I'm not going to try to label one for you. What I will say is that there is, I'll give you a very practical example of what happens when the straw breaks the camel's back. It's happening in Ireland right now. Irish people are on the verge of civil war. And I mean the type of civil war where the violence is like 2 monkeys going at each other. It's not professional. Why? Because they get no redress with their government. The government prefers Islamist invaders over them and rape gangs and thugs and illegals. And now they worship at the climate altar under the globalists. And under the globalists, they want to charge the farmers extra tax so that we can all be carbon neutral in a fantasy island environment. That way, if you want to sue us or redress us, we'll just ruin you and take your farm. Well, what have they done? They've snapped. They've gone and blockaded the refinery. They have stood the lines. They got a no confidence vote in the parliament that didn't pass this time, but they're taking action into their own hands. What I would suggest is that President Trump can't do this all by himself. And so if you're just going to sit back and say, well, they're the man and I'm not the man. Yeah, that might be true. But at what point will you decide that your granddaughter's liberties in the future are important enough for you to go do something about it? And I think Americans need to take stock in that. Here's going to be the forcing function. We're going to have a problem with food in this country in the fall, and there's no way around it. Because the bad guys are lighting refineries on business. What do refineries do? They put fertilizer in the ground that grows the food, and you need the gas to transport it to market. So let me ask you what happens when you got bare grocery shelves in very, very large cities. Doesn't go well. Well, then that's the point at where you start to see Americans actually snap. The good news is for our country, we didn't give away the guns, and we're not going to give away the guns. And so we're getting to that red line, the 9th inning, where Americans are like, okay, I've had it. If I have no protection under the law, the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to me, and you're going to roll up and take everything I've worked my whole life for via this scam property tax system, where you go ahead and reevaluate my land just because the school wants a new stadium. If it's going to be a racket like that, then what have I got to lose? And a lot of Americans are getting there. Did you know that we have 42 million households right now that are at risk of losing their property in this scam system? They're at everything they've worked for. 42 million homes, households.
Yeah, and I mean, we should talk about the fact that they don't own anything. They're losing their homes.
They're
they don't
renting
own anyway.
Yeah, they were just renters.
Rent from the government.
Yeah,
from the government.
Yeah,
they get to take whatever they want.
Yeah, and try to build something on that rental property and see how the city council likes you. I hope you gave to their campaigns.
Yeah, this is the bad part about this. I do want to play this video. I know it's 2 minutes, 47 seconds. Hopefully you can see it. You put it up so you know it, but I want people to understand what I'm actually playing. So let's play that one, please.
The Street View images that I once used to map the only unmapped city in America with are now gone. So it's unmapped again for literally the 5th time, and I'll tell you why. When I released this video where I flew a drone over the wealthiest city in Minnesota to put it onto Google Maps finally, I didn't realize that so many people would watch. Then North Oaks sent me a legal letter here basically telling me to not come back because I invaded their privacy, and they value their privacy almost above all else. But here's what's weird about that. Somebody, one of you, wrote in a YouTube comment on that video I made that they've basically been invading their own privacy with these things called flock cameras, which I had never heard before, but I did see them on every entrance and exit of the city.
If there's a burglary that occurs in North Oaks, we like to be able to go back back and see which cars came into that area.
That launched me on a 2-month journey where I learned all about the hundreds of millions of surveillance cameras in the US that track you every day, likely without you even knowing it. And some smart people started mapping these cameras, so at least there's some transparency of where they are, on this thing called OpenStreetMaps, where you and I can put things on their open source map. And it turns out these cameras are everywhere. So I made a video all about surveillance cameras and how people are being wrongly accused by supposedly being caught by these flock cameras.
You know we have cameras in that town and you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of that place without us knowing, correct?
And how some cops have been using it to track their ex-girlfriends, and that is an actual sentence that I just said out loud. And that's just the tip of the iceberg because, yeah, these things have been misused, but I actually think that's not even as big of a problem as how they could be misused. I mean, who knows? Use your imagination. If they can do it, they probably will. So yeah, it's kind of scary, kind of dystopian, but it all made me realize maybe the people that were criticizing me for invading North Oak's privacy were right. So a few days ago, I removed all of the Street View images that remained in North Oaks. And I know some of you might be disappointed by that, but while Wikipedia says all of the images have been removed, I did actually leave one image up. And this is totally real. If you zoom way into West Rec Park in North Oaks, there's one image that remains, and it's just of me taking the picture from the drone. So yeah, I removed those images from Street View. But I immediately re-uploaded all of them to that open source map, OpenStreetMaps, because if they're going to watch us on an unregulated camera network, it's only fair that we use an open source map to look right back at them.
I gotta go put this back up on the wall. I can't honestly say that we've had that level of success yet.
General, this is unbelievable.
Welcome to 1984.
This is crazy.
What a great American that vlogger was.
But then he took it down. He should have kept it up.
He's terrified. He's terrified.
I tell you what, I'll tell him. Look, I will pay your legal fees. I will pay your legal fees. Put it back up.
Awesome.
Right.
But that's how as Americans we do this. Here's the thing. It's not just Flock. Take all that Flock network he talked about.
Yeah.
And then add that to a thing that Palantir sells called the Gotham system. That's the non-military version. It's the police and fire version of what Palantir sells the military. So when I take Flock and I add it to Palantir, they're working on algorithms to basically do pre-crime. Did anybody see a movie about this? And the pre-crime thing is, I see your truck. It was maneuvering here. It's obvious that you're casing the place. What we got a feed off of our Gotham program. We got a conversation that you took off of this microphone. We put it all together. Basically, you are Colonel Mustard. You're going to do it with the pipe wrench in the conservatory. That's what's happening here. And that's the dystopian world that they're mapping out for you. Their technology doesn't work yet the way they want it to, but make no mistake, that's where they're going. Now, if I overlay that with central bank digital currency, a social credit score, and the ability to lock up your bank accounts because you had a bad thought, now we're really off to the races. Wait a minute, you're a carbon emitter, so maybe you need to live in the downtown, and we need to take you off that land you've got. And you can live in the downtown in this sector here where you can walk from one end to the other, and it'll only take you 15 minutes. That's the path the City of London globalists want us on, and they're willing to co-opt, blackmail, extort, bribe any politician, any staffer, any K Street lobbyist, any local police department, any sheriff's department. They're willing to do all of that. If you think that the FBI was being cute when they kicked in soccer moms' doors, it was only to prepare you. It was only to get you mentally ready for that stuff. So you got to take this stuff extremely seriously. There is no tinfoil hat to it at all. I would love to think that President Trump has a very, very 2020 view of what this is and what's coming from the enemy, but then he would have to hold members of his own administration to account, to include the EPA, Food, Drug, Department of Homeland Security, Interior, and Energy, because none of that stuff has been touched in this administration yet.
All right, so then let's talk about what's happening with the GOP. Just so you know, I am running for. I was in the governor's race. I got out of the governor's race after having a meeting with 3 of the candidates, the governor candidates. Even though I was in the lead, I just by a long shot, because the state party of Colorado, the GOP, is so broken, fundamentally broken.
Yeah.
Putting up
Right.
bad candidates and really fighting with each other. I was just going back and forth with a sitting Congress, a congresswoman now, and talking about it. And there's this, everyone's sick of it. They're sick of it. So I decided I'll come in and run the state chair. I'll do it for free for the next 2.5 years and fix this broken system. You put up a post that says the GOP are out there blocking recess appointments, taking long vacations, not voting on DOJ cuts, not passing the SAVE Act, not funding DHS, and trying to pass amnesty for illegals. Go ahead, put it up. Is this the major reform the American people voted for?
It's not what they voted for. It's not what they voted for. And the president is going to have to clean an internal house. He's done this before. His first term, he had traitors all around him. But the big thing is if you think that there is an aisle in D.C. and that there is a Democrat and a Republican party, it's not. It is the Congress wants to take down our president, and they're willing to cashier you in the process. And that's the thing that we have to stay very attuned to. You can't even get how repulsive is it that you got a guy working for TSA? I don't like TSA, but there's honest Americans that work there, and they're doing what we told them to do. So they just want to earn a living and put the food on the plate for the family. And those clowns go ahead and shut them down to make pain happen for the rest of the country, to make a point about the bill and Trump. But yet real people in our government have to go through that, and then they exacerbate the pain in every member of the flying public. They hurt our economy. And then John Thune, that brilliant conservative Senate leader, decides, yeah, we're going to go on a 2-week vacation while this all goes down. So get ready for that.
But made sure that he showed up so that President Trump couldn't do his recess appointments. Still.
Oh, he did? That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. So when we talk about, this is the thing, words are so very important because the bad guys figured this out a long time ago. When we like to lay into the Democrats, just call them Marxists. That's what they are. If you wanna lay into the Republicans, it's just the patsies playing along. You just want to keep the deck chairs on the Titanic the same way because you want the grift. Look at Maria Salazar. We absolutely have to have amnesty for all of these people. And we see the same thing in Idaho politics with the so-called red state conservative legislature, that the kind that you're talking about in Colorado. And here, I'm a GOP. I'm going to mail you a postcard. You don't need to know any of these people. Just this is who you vote for. It's ridiculous. Yeah, well, you will lose this country if you don't take an interest in it.
So it's interesting. I haven't had this many attacks and death threats since 2020 that I'm getting now running for state chair. People saying that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's craziest thing. And but I've been meeting with people, and they get so excited. So there's this one young man that I was meeting with this week, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and he had already committed to vote for someone else. He's part of the CRC. That's like a.
Yep.
And he says, "I'm sorry," and I'm like, "What? You okay?" He's like, "Yeah." I had to pull over. I just got really excited about what you said we were going to do at the party. He goes, "I haven't been this excited in a long time."
That's cool. That's really cool.
We can change it, though, General. We can change it. But it's going to take strong leadership and a stomach and basically unselfish desire to serve the very community that we represent. And we've got to be really careful how we look at the community, too, and not to look at it from D's and R's. Let's do the same thing they did. They put themselves on an island. They're they're the aristocrats, right? They're the ones that betrayed us. Now our job is to replace them all. Our job is to throw them all out and to replace them with people who are statesmen that will listen to the very people they say they're going to represent.
The one word you just said that encapsulates the entire thing about the citizen servant leader is selflessness. It's selflessness. And that's what the vision was from the founders. And actually, Thomas Jefferson, he made the comment that, it's your duty. It's your duty. They go off the rails, you got to take them out. That's on you. And that's on us. And again, the people are there to be inspired. And if you want to be a citizen servant leader and you're not there to be a pro-politician who's looking forward to your days of insider trading and handling your special interests, well, then and don't go to any parties in D.C., then this is for you. And go help save our country because it's a beautiful nation. It's worth saving, and it is as many blemishes as we have, the hope of the world. It's really the hope of the world.
100%, 1,000%, 1,000,000%. All of what you said and more. General, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you giving us the time. How do people follow you and how do they find you? I know you got the Dangerous Intellectuals podcast. How do they find you?
Yeah, dangerousintellectuals.com. Got a really good one this week with Vilify Mariposa. And I'm also on newsmax.com. You can read my column there. It's called The Irascible Disruptor. And you can bet that I'm just going to call balls and strikes, and I'm just going to keep my daggum mouth going, and nobody's going to stop that. So we all should be in this boat together because it's absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. Your freedom's worth it.
Absolutely. General, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, God bless you. Told you, you get a whole lot of just stuff. We're stalking his page, going through all the stuff related to something we should all know about, right? We should know about the fact they're using flock cameras all over the country and they're using them to track us. And now you look at what's happening with Palantir, with Peter Thiel, and the ability to privatize. And here's the word. Let me just tell you this. Same thing we did with our elections. We privatized our elections. We privatized our elections in the country to companies that then were not subjected to any FOIA requests. So they basically pulled it back, made it so you can't get access to information, basically creating a black box between the American people and accountability. They've done it all over the country. And what Clarence Thomas said, which is very important, listen to his words, is that it's our obligation to stand and do something about it. That is what we are going to do. When we come back, we're going to talk about education. We're going to talk about some of the things that are happening as a last resort. What is happening? What is happening in our country related to education specifically? What are our children being told? And here's my question. How do they believe any of this? How do they see themselves as, I'm doing the right thing, where everything is falling down around them, and they don't look up and go, yeah, this professor of 25 years here, this piece of trash, what do you know? Like, where did you ever work? You've been over here indoctrinating people for 25 years, and why can't kids stand up and say that? Why can't parents say, you know what, I'm not paying $40,000 a year for you to destroy my kid's mind? Why? Well, we can, and we will, and we'll talk about it when we get back. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Joe, Supreme Leader of DCF Guns. What is DCF Guns, you ask? We're the best damn gun store and range in the universe. Do we have guns? We have all the guns. We got small guns. We got big guns. We even have beastly guns. We offer all types of training, and we have 5 ranges across our 3 locations. I'm a good shot. And of course, we have all types of ammo. We even have flamethrowers. Woo! We offer incredible membership opportunities, and members save even more on guns, ammo, and accessories. Come join the DCF family today, where we keep the range hot and the deals hotter. It's hot.
In every thread, in every stitch, Honor-Bound USA weaves the fabric of the American spirit. It's not just apparel, it's a testament to God, family, and country. At Honor-Bound USA, we're a family of patriots who put our faith, family, and America first. When you visit our website, you'll find a line of products that embody our commitment to pray, stand, speak, and act. As the official site for the Untamed podcast, all of our products proclaim speaking the truth with courage. We also have the powerful documentary from Professor David Clements, Let My People Go. Identify yourself as one of the few who are willing to stand for what they believe in. Join the Honor-Bound USA family today. Wear it as a badge of honor, commitment to the values that shape us, and a pledge to the bright future we will build together. Because when you're honor-bound, you're not just wearing a brand, you're embodying a lifestyle. All right. Well, I tell you what, we keep going through and looking at what they're doing to make life harder for Americans. And we are treated like slaves. And we talk about slavery, and we talk about the things that we have to do. And you have conversations with young people and they're like, Joe, I don't know. I don't even have time to pay attention. And they can't seem to get the things into their life that they need to have. And if they do, everything else has to suffer. Because we're literally on a hamster wheel. We are so far, everyone's a racist, everyone's a homophobe. I just got called an anti-Semite. And the dangers of this is that they're doing it behind people's backs. And they are literally doing things to destroy people that they see as a threat because they speak the truth. Now, the bad part about this is that as people start to speak the truth and you start to block them, sooner or later, the efforts of the people behind the scenes doing this stuff comes to light. Well, that has just happened right here in Colorado. Now, I said that I wouldn't talk specifically about this, but I'm going to. I am really concerned that we don't live in a free country at all, and that the people in positions of power and authority have captured our vernacular so completely that we send our children into battle with no tools. We don't have the tools. And there are tests, there are things that they've done back in the 50s and 60s that show that they could put an entire, I forget what it's called, I'll find it, but they could put 3 lines in front of them and have the short line say, which one's the short line? And the short line is literally half the size of the other lines. And they'll have 6 people that are actors that say that the long line is actually the short line, and the one that gets to you and you're like, the actual short line. And then you go through it again and again and again. All of a sudden, you start conforming to this new reality that's not reality. Well, here's a University of Minnesota professor that says, quote unquote, I hope you seek to dismantle the United States. People like this, by the way, are traitors to our country. They are treasonous traitors, and they should pay a penalty for it. They should never, ever be allowed around our children. Go ahead and play it.
Of all liberation struggles and the movements that seek a world of justice, equality, and peace, that seek to dismantle the United States. I hope you seek to dismantle the United States. And if that isn't your politics, okay? I speak as if everybody has this commitment. And the thing is that you should listen to Indigenous people when they're telling you that this is the goal. And that not only is this the goal, but this is the starting point. Because I think Nick articulated this very clearly. Decolonization is the only thing that is going to save us as a species, is the only thing that's going to save us as a planet. And everyone should just be on board with it, no questions asked. And I say this sometimes on the podcast, our Red Nation podcast, I'm the co-host of Red Power Hour. You know, like, of the most oppressed ass people in Turtle Island, Indigenous women are like on the top of that fucking list, okay? And incarcerated at higher numbers, murdered at higher numbers, missing at higher numbers, higher levels of rape and all kinds of sexual violence and sexual harassment. I mean, Indigenous women struggle so hard under the settler regime that is the United States, and the way that heteropatriarchy ties so closely into that. And if an Indigenous woman is telling you that decolonization is the solution, and also that there is real hope, and that Palestine offers us, we said this in the speech, Palestine is the alternative path for Native nations. And this is because we understand Palestine, and the liberation of Palestine is the tip of the spear, right? It is a righteous struggle, and it is so powerful that it has literally, in 60 days, changed the entire world. The entire world has changed. I knew it the moment that it happened, that nothing, and I mean nothing, for colonizers or for any of the good, humble people of the earth would be the same ever again. And we need to lean into that. Lean into the fact that colonizers are scared. Lean in to scaring them and making them feel uncomfortable, right? It is because we have power.
You're retarded. You're past retarded. This jumble soup and I'm sitting here listening to it and thinking American colonizers, and then you go for American colonizers, then you go over to Gaza, the Palestinians. You conflate the two together. This is what happens when you are one of the most retarded people in the world and you're actually given access to children. And you use big words because you've captured the vernacular. But here's the reality. You've never done anything in your life of any substance. You've never accomplished a thing in your life. You sit on a stage and you run your mouth about how I'm afraid. Let me explain something to you. I'm not afraid. And Americans aren't afraid. Americans are sick of your stupid shit. Let's just call it what it is. You have hatred for America, then get the hell out. Get out. The only thing that's happening right now is a replacement theology in order to hurt the ethos of our nation. And by saying the very thing that you seek to dismantle the United States, it is being dismantled. And as it's being dismantled, people are dying. What this woman is saying is not only irresponsible, it just means that we've let the stupid run our country. This is stupid. This is some of the most retarded stuff I've ever heard in my life. You got a woman that gets up on the stage and then she just can't help herself. She's so filled with rage for something that she knows nothing about. It's like reading a book and you didn't know what the title was and it's just a bunch of words. And when you get done with the book, you say that I just read a book about biology, but the book was, the Cat in the Hat. This is how stupid we are. We allow stupid to go, how does this even, if this is what we put in front of our children, by the way, there was 20 people in there that were clapping. You got 20 people. Yeah, I mean, everyone should feel this way. No, just retards that should not be given any sort of stage. Those are the only people. And here's the thing, is that like everyone should think this way and everyone should do this way. And I'm thinking to myself, you're a fucking retard. Pardon my language. I'm so sorry. Hit the little space button, make sure it gets out of the podcast. It makes me angry because the words that she uses actually do harm. They create an environment where people get hurt, people get killed, and people stand up and act like retards like this person. And now there's a movement. There's a movement to keep 300,000 Haitians here in America. This is unbelievable. This is where the judge came in and you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Play it.
I'm very proud of the work, the strategy, the whip effort by my office and the coalition that we built nationally, resulting in that majority of those 218 signatures to force a vote. There are 350,000 Haitian nationals in this country. I represent the third largest Haitian diaspora in the country. I co-chair the House Haiti Caucus. And for me, this is a matter of keeping families together. It's the acknowledgement that deporting those Haitian nationals back to Haiti, a country that is politically destabilized, been ravaged by national disasters, the assassination of their president, rampant gang violence, that is a death sentence. And moreover, to separate families and to threaten several industries where many Haitian nationals make great contributions, healthcare, construction, hospitality. And so that is why I'm leading this fight. And we are currently in legislative recess, but when I return to Washington and we are back in session, that discharge petition has 7 days to ripen, 2 days to sort of call the question, to call the vote, if you will. I have every reason to believe that those signatures will hold, translate to votes. It will pass the House, and then we take this fight to the Senate.
Yeah, so let's not, I don't even know what's happening. She's talking about Americans. Wouldn't it be nice if we had the same sort of process that we could build to say we're going to protect the American people? Do you notice that they don't talk about the American people? They don't talk about the American people. They talk about Haitians. They talk about Somalis. They talk about Mexicans and Hispanics and African American. By the way, most black people don't want to be called African. It's like, I've never been to Africa. You think I'm kidding? Just walk up and just say hi to someone and say, are you black or African American? You're like, man, I'm black. It's a true story. The ones that say that they're African American are the ones that say, we got to have reparations. And we're do this. While they're over here basically cutting the throat of the people in their own community, taking away opportunity, taking away education, taking away food, creating deserts. Those same people, oh yeah, I'm here to help them. You tell me what Democrat in office has done any good for the people in their community. Any. I'll wait. Crime's up. Famine's up. Let's call it famine. Let's just call, when people can't eat and they're hungry, it's famine. It's all meant to design us and divide us into tribes. You're right. Create chaos. And then along comes this guy, Joe Oltmann, and they're like, oh yeah, he's an anti-Semite and he's an anti. I'm thinking to myself, man, what am I for if I'm against all this stuff? And then to do so in private, man, I can't even tell you about it because I promised I wouldn't. I wouldn't put it out there. But I have a pretty big story. I have a huge lawsuit. I have a huge lawsuit. Huge lawsuit. And it literally, I've now got the corner on what I can do to, and I have the proof that it actually now affected my business by people going behind and creating rifts and trying to destroy me with lies, which is good. It's good. I hope they do the right thing, because I would hate to just have to go on a 1-week ham on these people. But I am going to sue them. I'm just going to tell you, if we don't come to some sort of conclusion, I am going to sue them. And I hate being cryptic with you, but I'm going to be cryptic with you. So they don't help Americans. They won't sign the SAVE Act. They won't do anything by the Americans. They want to treat Americans like they're absolute slaves. And then on top of all of that, you have 6 Republicans who join the Democrats because it's just the uniparty in order to give 350,000 Haitians, which were imported, the ability to just stay here. And it comes with a huge price tag. Go ahead, put it up. These are the 6 Republicans: Don Bacon, Marie Alvera Salazar, Mike Lawler, Carlos Gimenez, Nicole Malatakis, Brian Fitzgerald. These are them right there. Yeah. You got 2 in Florida. I mean, why not? Let's just do whatever we can in order to take away Americans' rights. I mean, at the same time they say this, they're like, we're taking away your Second Amendment rights. We're going to tax you to death. You have property tax on everything. We're just going to tax. Let's just take everything from you. You're just slave. Tell me how else we would see it. Entitlements to illegal immigrants who do not contribute or have contributed to society over time is a slap in the face to Americans. I don't actually care. I will take people here and they can come in and they can assimilate to our society, but not by the tens of millions while Americans here are suffering. You shut the border, you ship them all out, you take care of Americans, and when you get to a place where you have a thriving society, then we're going to bring other people in. And then you have Ilhan Omar discussing how the Somali community has been impacted by the fraud. Go ahead, play it.
I think it's now 230 million that has been.
Yes, 250 is what they say.
Yeah,
misuse funds meant for child nutrition.
Yeah, 230 to 250. There's been about 77 or so.
75 defendants.
That have been indicted. Many of them have taken plea agreements.
That makes it. They got to make it hard for you, right? Just in general, not because you got anything to do with it.
Yeah.
But when he can point and say, "Well, this actually happened."
I mean, it doesn't make it hard for me, but it does make it hard for, the average Somali business owner.
There you go.
It makes it hard for the average immigrant business owner. It makes it hard for the average Black business owner, because it does create this cloud of suspicion, and obviously it's become very politicized, and it will continue to be politicized as we get closer to November, and the level of harassment people are dealing with. Even you'll have people go to restaurants, coffee shops, with their cameras harassing all of these business owners.
And daycares,
And
right?
daycare centers,
It's back to
where
daycare
people have
centers.
not been able to take their children because they're scared.
I don't. Every time I play another clip that I've already seen, I go back and go, what about the American people? What about the taxpayers who were defrauded? How about the single mom that has to work 50 hours and sees a third of her paycheck go away to go to people that get free health care? How about that? How about the people in the community, the Democrat, Republican, Independent? By the way, we're all the same. We are all victimized by a system that allows for Americans to come under attack. That's the reality. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm going to fix the state party for the Republicans, and then we're going to become the American People's Party, and we're going to walk into Denver and Aurora, and I'm going to talk to my black and brown brothers, American black and brown brothers, and I'm going to say, listen, you deserve better. You deserve opportunity. You've been literally betrayed by everyone. And then we have the Republican Party, and here's our values. You want to be able to kill your kids? You want to genocide your children, or do you want to keep your children because you have opportunities that allow for you to be able to afford health care and child care? Do we want to continue to push down on the community and create different standards that don't allow people to thrive while you tell them that, oh, we need reparations? No, the only people that are holding people down is the party of the KKK. That's the only thing. Now, Republican Party, just so you know, we're retards. We can't get along to save our life. We'd rather fight each other than actually get tactical and do the things that are necessary. I'm going to come in like the coach that people wish they always had but never wanted when they were being coached. They wanted it when they were actually winning. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to travel all over the state and make sure that anybody that feels like they're marginalized, I'm using that word again, because the left has captured all of these phrases to make it impossible to describe what is really happening. But the American people have been marginalized largely. Not you marginalize this community, marginalize that community. The only people that have marginalized them is the useful idiots that go into the legislative office and say, here, we want to do this. And if you think that what I'm saying is not endemic to the entire country, and the fact that retards are in every office around the country, and that it's not just Congress, it's not just on the education side, these are full-blown retards. Here's what the Democrat mayor of Boston decided was the most important thing for the people of Boston. This is the most important thing. They launched a program that gives $250 to $500 vouchers to LGBTQ plus migrants so they can get free yoga classes, salon visits, massages, gym memberships, and more. That's the most important thing. An open-ended program to give people, and because, by the way, it's LGBTQ plus, it means you can be I'm an ally. I kid you not. You can just be, do you understand? It's taking taxpayer dollars and giving it to you and saying, here, take it. Oh, I'm bisexual. I'm married. Give me a free certificate. And the taxpayers have to pay for it. You don't own your homes. You don't own your cars. You are a slave. They can take anything they want whenever they want for you. If you think that I'm kidding about that, check this out. This is the Philly mayor. This is what the Philly mayor thinks about you, slave. This is everyone. I mean, I'm having conversations with a congresswoman right now. I'm not going to tell you who it is, and I'm not going to divulge what I was saying. But the air of it is that I'm smarter than you, and you know I don't need these people. I don't need these people. I don't need these people. I don't need you. Play it.
We are open for business here, but how dare you tell me, as mayor of this city, to tell the people in this city that we cannot and should not enact what is one of the most limited powers that we have, and that is to decide how we will drive revenue to the school district of Philadelphia.
Sit down, slave. Sit down. How dare you, slave? You know, I laugh about it because it's funny that I was sitting with Tim. There's this guy, Tim Bennett's running for CD7 in Colorado. He's running for Congress against a radical Democrat that, frankly, they need to throw out. And it's Broomfield. and other areas. Super, super nice man. Super nice man. Served in the military for 30 years. 30 years he was a Army Ranger. And I'm sitting there talking to him. He's super smart, and he gets it. And the first thing he says to me is that I want to make life better for the people in my area, and I want to make sure we take care of the vulnerable people. And so as I was driving back from that meeting to get here to do the podcast, I started looking up their opponent and some of the videos that they had of things that they would do in their community. And lo and behold, none of those words were in there. None of them were, how do I make it better for anyone? It's just flamboyant words because they don't need to. They have stolen elections. They can do whatever they want. And I was sitting there with this man, and I said, he gets it. A new type of candidate. A candidate that, my words to Tim were, go talk to the Democrats. Republicans, you already have them. Go talk to the Democrats. Go tell them what you're going to do to help them. How do we build a people's party? How do we get to a place where we recognize that I don't want anything to do with the Democrat Party. I won't deal with any party that thinks killing babies is like they're on their platform. See, in the Republican Party, we have pro-life, and then we have pro-choice. And, you know, those social issues, we'll work them out. Let's hammer them out as people in our community. But I don't want to genocide people, and I don't want to genocide entire communities and create this large government that does nothing but inhibit people's ability to grow. And then we never put it in the right places. We hand it over to places like, you know, like the unions or, you know, the administration for education or useful idiots like this woman that was just up here that happens to be one of the professors that tells us that we need to decolonize the United States. Basically what they want to do is let's take it back about 250 years. And then while saying that a certain group of people are all victims. I want to get rid of all of that. I want to get back to a place where these politicians can piss on off, including myself. So, in running for state chair, I'm going to come in and just wipe the slate. I'm going to spend all my time in Denver and Aurora. After I go talk to all the donors, and I'm like, listen, we have an opportunity to take the entire state, turn it so bright red that it'll be red for the next 50 years. But we have an obligation to make sure we return it to the people. And if red means people, great, I'm all in. If red means that we're going to give entitlements to a bunch of porky pigs out there and make sure that the Beltway, you know, the up and down the I-25 corridor in Colorado is the only people that actually see any progress, then I'm out. That's what we should build. But instead, we have a sense of entitlement and this grift and graft across the state of Colorado and across the country that is absolutely pervasive. We don't have a functioning government. We don't have a functioning system in the United States. It literally is hanging on by a thread. Imagine having a Jenga puzzle and there's only one piece at the bottom and you're trying to pull it. Just one piece. And as you start pulling on it, you see the entire tower do this. If we want to save our country, we're going to have to get to a place where we recognize that this cannot continue. And it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, you don't get to steal and take meat off the bone that is not yours. Sit down, slave. Sit down. Sit down, slave. I have never been in such a good place as I am right now when it comes to how I see society and where we are. I'm really excited. We're put in office by Americans. Hello, 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 hello. Ready to head off to the Dental Institute. Okay, Jeff's going to go get a root canal. And learning centers. It's Black, Sally, Jesse, Raphael. I don't know what you're referring to, Teresa. Moderate. Oh, you're talking to people. Mod. No comments of you guys actually talking to me, so I will move on from that and say this. It is Thursday. Tomorrow you have a special that Patrick's going to do with you, and that should be great. You'll be joined by an amazing guest. Michael will be with us. Ariza, he'll be with you. I have a ton of work to do, and I promised myself I'd do two things. One, I'm going to devote at least 2 hours of my time every day to myself. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to not do 2 hours of the podcast. If you want me to do 2 hours of the podcast, I will do something just for the people twice a week that are people that, you know, that are members, right? So, and that's just because I got to get a lot of work done. And being the state chair and doing some of the things I'm doing, I'm running out of time. And I've got a lot of work to do to fix this state. A lot. All right. Now let's give you the lowdown. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. You can go to all those places. Obviously, we're on Rumble. Rumble stock is up again. I'd like to say thank you for that. That's actually good. But Teresa, thanks. Joe, your guest was great. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. I want people to get more involved in what's going on, but I want you to pay attention. You are the ambassadors of truth. Yeah, I already know I gotta contend with the Coomer conglomerate looking for what happened. Here's the deal. I will accept Coomer stepping out of his lawsuit and admitting what he did. We can make him a state witness, and he can stop having to hide somewhere and solve this problem. And I think that if people truly want to help poor people, then you're not going to get it through communist or satanic means. So, but I'm not going to stop talking about stolen elections and what Dominion did to actually demonize us and to divide and destroy us, because I think that was purposefully the only thing that they were out for. So I can't say hi to anybody, but I will say this. I am looking forward to my day in court, and I'm also looking forward to certain people going to prison for the rest of their life, or being charged with treason, and you know what the consequence is for that. So, yeah, good stuff. Let's pray. Okay. Father God, thank you for the opportunity to have Brigadier General Holt on. It's always a pleasure having him on. Thank you for the amount of work that he does to fight for the American people, even after he is retired. Father, we're grateful for the people that continue to stand up and to do what's right. And we're grateful, Father, for our leaders that are that step in the gap and to get elected, that are truly looking out for the best interest of the American people. We know that ultimately the goal is, Father, to restore you to our community, to our country, and to the very way of life of everything that we do, and to shut out all of these evil doers that have done an immense amount of harm to people and made communities and countries miserable. So, Father, as we go through this, we seek accountability, we seek consequences for the bad behavior and the things that they've done to hurt us here specifically. Father, I just ask you to give us the courage to stand up, the conviction, but also the ability to know when and where we can head towards that light. We know that we have people that are friends of ours that are sick. And Father, I just ask you to heal those people. Heal Dave Bear specifically. Gammy is facing a couple of health issues. If you could give her an upper hand, that'd be helpful too. Father, help me that as I go into this next chapter and pursue this state chair position, that I can be filled with humility and the ability to act in earnest for just the people, just unselfishly serve in all ways. I say these things, Father, humbly, in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. All right, I'll see you guys. Susan Rice, good to see you. I'll see you guys. Remember, you guys hit the share button, hit the up button, do all the buttons. Pill.net, good to see you guys. Thanks for all the contributions you guys have made. I do want to say, I don't remember who gave it to me yesterday, but somebody gave me a $100 Rumble rant, and I want to say thank you to you. So if it was you, just go and put your name in there, and I'll say thank you to it. I want to thank you for the many people that have supported us, both at DCF, at Honorbound, and walked around. I was literally down in Colorado Springs, and I looked up, and I see Pray, Stand, Speak, Act. And I was like, hey. And they turned around, and they're like, hey. And I was like, nice sweatshirt. And she goes, yeah, my daughter gave it to me. And I was like, you have an awesome daughter. Do you know what it means? She goes, no. And so I sat there for 20 minutes telling her what it meant, who I was. And she goes, you're Joe. And I was like, yes. Anyway, it was a great conversation. And Marilyn, it was great to meet you and your beautiful daughter down in Colorado Springs. Thank you for giving that to your mom to have her wear that. So again, I'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend. I gave you back 45 minutes or 40 minutes that you'd normally spend here with me. So get to it. All right. God bless you.
Rise up untamed. In the heart of the fight where the wild ones roam, Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real. No more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew. Truth matters through and through. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Tame nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave